Hi everyone, welcome back to Return of the Nerd. I'm doing a late night session here, which is why it's kind of dark and I probably look orange. Yeah, some good news. Everything's more settled here, like in terms of the business. So it's almost been a week and I'm gonna reopen the store this weekend. Okay, so we're back in business, baby. We should try harder. We should double our efforts. Today I wanted to talk about Andor. And I've been opening up a lot of the figures that I've been selling recently, and I've been checking them, doing some quality control. And yeah, not bad actually, quite like them. And I also wanted to do something fun. We are halfway currently, through the season, right? We've had 6 episodes, we've got 6 more to go. And we've had 2 story arcs. And my mind is just doing overtime. I keep thinking about, like, I want that person as a figure. I want that person as a figure. I mean, I know probably not. My wishes are not going to come true because Hasbro, really. I mean, I don't know how long this line's going to be. The Mando line for the Black Series is really long. It's like over 30 figures now. And if Andor is going to be super popular like Mando, and we're going to have more seasons, then I think the same thing will happen. We'll get a ton of figures, so that's good. I just looked on Rotten Tomatoes and it says episode 6, the Eye, 100%. Oh, people really like that one. That's good. So if you haven't watched Andor episodes 1 to 6, then this some of the stuff I'm going to say is like warning spoiler. Okay. So what I did is I wrote down so far out of all the characters that we've seen, which are the ones are my favorites, personal favorites, and I would love for them to be made into an action figure, whether that be Black Series or TVC. Obviously, I prefer the Black Series because I just the way I am. I collect Black Series. You can see behind me, right? But this would be for both scales. Okay, so. Let's start with the first one. Now, the first one is Cyril Khan. I just find his circumstances to be very unusual and very interesting, and he's kind of a catalyst. He started all of this in the first place because his supervisor told him, "Don't do that," and then he went ahead and did it, which then led to all of these events, right? And so I think that the security, the forces, the Empire, they haven't sent any stormtroopers or any Imperial troopers to that planet yet, because it's under the jurisdiction of, like, it's almost like this police force that's been outsourced, and the Empire's told them, as long as you maintain control on this planet, then you have nothing to worry about. So I like those guys when they come down and they have to bring in Andor. So there's 2 of them, right? There's Cyril Khan, and there's another guy, I think it was Sergeant Linus. He's got a very strong personality. He's like a really big guy, and he's the one that says, he goes, "Shit, pockets are fermenting." I just like those 2 characters a lot, and I think that their uniforms are like super wicked as well. So they will be 2 really good figures in the Black Series. So there's 2. Right, the next one is probably something that you will find really unusual, but I just really like the bell ringer. He's only in a couple of scenes, right? And he every morning he has to walk up the tower steps, and he has this like kind of ritual where he takes the hammers off the wall and he's like, and then he's just like, slams them down on this like table, like this sheet of Beskar, to wake up the town and prepare them for the shift for work. I really like the way that was filmed, and yeah, if I could get him in a deluxe pack with the hammers and maybe his like Beskar alarm clock. I mean, that would be a really cool item to have in my collection. So those three, and then right, let's turn our attention to Coruscant, so the ISB. You know, undoubtedly there's going to be some ISB characters in this line, and there are two that really stand out for me. So the first one is Major Portugaz, right? So he's the leader, and he's the one that says that, you know, what do we do here? we find diseases and we cure them. And then obviously you've got the female ISB officer, Dedra Miro. And these two I find very interesting. I mean, there are a whole bunch of ISB officers that you could put in that line, but I don't know if that'll be like, do we need so many? So, because I just think there's going to be so many different characters, obviously still to come, that we haven't seen already. So, yeah. And the next one is, I really like the, it's kind of a local hero. His name's Brasso, and he's good mates with Andor. And he's one of the grapplers whose job it is to dismantle, you know, you have to take the ship apart. And he's the one that always, when Andor gets himself in deep shit, he's the one that has to like kind of like make up a story and say, yeah, I was there, I was with him all night, we were drinking, and I like that. I think he's also the one who tied the ship, right? He tied that ship down, and then that guy, he tried to take off, and the ship like flew into one of those cranes. So yeah, I mean, that maybe he's going to get into trouble for that. We don't know, and I don't want to spoil it. But yeah, I think we will see him coming up again many more times. He's also quite an important character, and I just like that he's tough, and I think like with those workers, because I've watched and played Jedi Fallen Order, and the uniforms that those guys wear is very similar to the opening where you see what's his name? Oh, I can't remember his name. The Jedi, and that's it, Cal Kestis, and he's working in the shipyard dismantling the old the ships after Order 66. And then they all seem to be wearing that kind of uniform, so I like that. I wouldn't mind 2, maybe 3 figures, you know, of those shipyard workers. That would be cool. The next one is moving on to episodes 4, 5, and 6. So there's the heist, right? Aldhani, and I really like the group of the rebels. I mean, it would be naive of me to think that Hasbro would make every single one of them as an action figure. But so I just wanted to choose my favorites. So my favorite one is Commander Behaz. I think he's really central in this because he's part of the Empire, and he has a very high-ranking position, and he's kind of set everything in motion. And he's the one who's really put his neck on the line, because if anything goes wrong, he's the first one that's going to get killed. And so he's constantly like having these secret rendezvous with the rebels, you know, at their camp, and he's having to make up all these excuses why he needs to leave the base for hours on end, you know. And I just really like his uniform as well. Like I like the Imperial outfit that he's got. I like his ranking. I like the cloak and the cap, and it's very, very, very nice. So I'd really like a figure based on him. And oh no, wait, I said that wrong. His name is, wait a minute, his name is, it's not okay, Commandant Behaz. Sorry. And he's the one who he's put on weight, right? So he can't like tighten his belt, and he's the one that gets kidnapped and is told to, they need his hand, right? To open the, to gain access to the vault where the Imperial credits are. Sorry about that. I love his uniform, like the whole regalia, like he looks so regal and so important. And when, you know, in the trailer where Andor's saying, look at them, so fat and so satisfied. You know, he kind of embodies that, right? He's just this like really greedy, promotion seeking, like he doesn't have any moral compass whatsoever. And yeah, he's a despicable person. But I do like what he's wearing. I think it looks very cool. I don't think we've seen anything like that before in the Empire. So I got his name mixed up actually with Lieutenant Gorn. Lieutenant Gorn is the rebel. He's the one who is the man on the inside. Sorry about that. So let's just get that straight. So Lieutenant Gorn and the Commandant, okay, or Commandant. Commandant. Is that how you say it? The Commandant. And there's two more on my list. The other one is Val, because she is the one who brings Andor into the rebel group, and she introduces him to everyone else. And I think her role is quite pivotal. And I know she's going to come up later on in the story as well, because I went through the trailer. I went through all the trailers for Andor, and I was pausing it and saying like, okay, this scene, seen it already. This scene, not yet. This scene, we've seen that, we've watched that. This scene, not yet. And I was trying to pick out like who's still alive and who's dead and who might appear next. Don't tell me you haven't done that already. And then the last one is the alien dude from episode 1. And it is a shame that we haven't had so many alien characters. I mean, yes, there are alien species there, but they are all like in the background, walking around, minding their own business. They haven't really had any major speaking roles. But I did like the ginormous alien creature that Andor talks to. And he says like 1 or 2 sentences at the most. But man, would that be a really cool action figure. Yeah, one thing, if I had to make, I mean, I love Andor, I love it so much, but if there was, if I had to give some criticism, I would say there's too many humanoid, characters in it. Even the Aldhanis in that last episode 6, I was expecting the Aldhanis to be some kind of primitive alien species and look different, not be humanoid. So that was a shame, and I hope that in the next 6 episodes we can get at least a couple of important alien characters in there who have more speaking roles. So that would be good. And yeah, what else is there? So like I've unpackaged these guys. So this is the Imperial officer with his cape, pretty nice. The only thing is, like, his cap doesn't come off. It's the same as the Aldhani Andor. He's in disguise. These caps are stuck onto their head sculpts, which is a shame. I think a lot of people will be buying multiples and then just like pulling the heads off and then customizing their own, because you really want to build up a lot of troops for these Imperial action figures. They would look so cool. I mean, the Ferrix one, this guy here, I mean, it'd be so good if you had, 5 or 6 of these with their riot shields, because that scene's going to come up soon. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this is a generic face and it's supposed to just be like a generic trooper, or is this a specific character that we will actually see in one of the upcoming episodes, like, is actually going to look like this? I just don't know, because on the packaging it just says Ferrix, Imperial officer. So is he an officer? He could be. But from what we've seen in the trailer, they just look kind of like riot level, kind of riot police level. Then these don't look like officers. So, I mean, this clearly, like, this guy is an officer, right? Very clearly you can tell by his uniform, it stands out. So this cape doesn't come off, but like if you pull, I've tried it already, if you pull the head off, then the cape comes off, and it looks quite nice without the cape as well. I'm not really impressed with the weapons. I think that they're too small, and honestly, like, I don't even remember seeing this. I'm not the best person for detail, but I mean, do you guys in the comment section, did the weapons look like this? And this guy doesn't have, like, there's no holster. This guy has no holster, but at least he did come with, the Ferrix Trooper does come with a nice, you know, classic E11 blaster, which I think is cool. It would be nice if they all had that. I mean, let's put his hand back there. Like Aldhani Andor has this the same one. It's the same tiny little, looks like a little Star Trek phaser. So I will, like, for me, when I set them up on my shelf, I'm going to have them exactly like it was in the show. I'll give him like a bigger weapon, probably give him the E11 blaster. And I just like to do that anyway with my figures. Like, for example, the Purge Trooper. I thought that his weapon was just too small for such a magnificent trooper. So I'll give him like this massive rifle blaster instead. And yeah, I'm just really picky about their blasters. So Hasbro, I think you could do better on that one. And then obviously, oh, there's these two, isn't there? You've got the San Diego Comic-Con, the convention exclusives. They're very nice. I took them out of the boxes, and I was quite impressed with the droid. Yes, and does remind me of when I was a child. Reminds me of the Disney, the Black Hole movie, Vincent, and I've still got that figure somewhere in this apartment. And you can actually like open him up, and you can swivel his head. You know, the rest of his the central part of pillar here, the central part of his body here doesn't turn, but he's got like the head moves, and these little wheel sections, they come in and out, so you can fold them in and out. And I just think it's nice, and it looks good when it's next to Andor. I think it was a bit cheeky of Hasbro to just, because they're going to release this guy. They just said they're going to release this guy, right? Because recently we had a PulseCon, and they said we're going to get Mon Mothma. What's his name? Luthen Rail. There's a couple of others, right? Bix as well, the main characters. And they said, yeah, we'll also have Andor. But it's the same one that's already been given to us from the SDCC exclusive. So I thought it was a bit cheeky, you know, like, and the money, oh, it was really expensive. It's like, so basically, you're just giving us this, you know? It's like, you could have put that and that together in a deluxe pack, and then I just think it's a little bit overpriced, man. And it's kind of for people who want to get B2 emo, like, why should they need to spend so much money on you know, the exclusive? I don't think that's really that fair. Yeah, so that's another thing I'm a bit bummed about. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting an action figure for Skarsgård. I like Stellan Skarsgård very, very much in this. And it would be nice if we could have him as we see him in like episode 1. And then it would be nice if we can have him posing as the antiques dealer as well, with the wig on. He's got that long hair, and yeah, that would be quite cool if we can have multiples of Skarsgård. You guys, can you tell me, like, so far, just like episodes 1 to 6, like this is a hypothetical question, and it's just like a wish list. If you had like 5 figures, or maybe even 10, what figures would you choose to make, you know, and put into the Black Series or the TVC? And also, like, with vehicles and play sets, you know, dioramas and that kind of thing. Do you have any suggestions? Because, I mean, that's another thing that Hasbro will have to take into consideration, especially with, not with the Black Series, we know that they're not going to do that, but with TVC, like, what would be a vehicle or some kind of like backdrop diorama that they could create for the vintage collection? That would be good. So let me know in your comments below. Alright guys, that's it for today. Don't forget to subscribe. And when I get to 2,000, I'm having a giveaway. I've got some figures that you can win, okay? Yeah, we'll just have to see what happens. I mean, it's so exciting. Alright guys, this is the way, and I'll see you next time.